Hello, Waddles Park staff. This is Brent's bulletin board for November 16th. I've got a few things I wanted to just put on a video just to talk to you a little bit about. First thing is about report cards. This Friday we have a records day, and so I wanted to give you a little guidance that things are a little bit different this year. Probably pacing is not the same because we've had to go back and do so much reteaching of content from the previous year, and so I'm going to give grade level teams a lot of autonomy on the content for what you want to put into your on your report cards. If you, kind of the rule to live by is if you haven't assessed a standard for the first trimester, then don't worry about trying to include it on the first trimester report card. That just makes sense to me. So just leave it blank. And then so that we can stay consistent throughout the building, let's just say that we're all going to do all of the behavior things, because what I don't want to happen is a parent that has a second grader and a fourth grader have different marks on there. It's just something that parents question when one child's report card does look a little different. And so I think time wise, I know it does take a little more time to mark all those things, but then if we get a few parents that are questioning that and questioning you, that it takes more time for you to explain that. And so I just go ahead and do it. We do have half a day on Friday to try to shore all that up, and then we'll report. The plan is that that we'll get report cards printed. I think probably that week after Thanksgiving is when we come back, that we'll be printing them at that point. So we don't know yet about the pivot to remote learning yet, but we know that we're all preparing for that if it does go that way. And so the one thing that I want to say is, as a district, so all of you in how you talk to parents and maybe even each other and the students, is let's stop using the word closure or school closing and things like that, because what it puts in the minds of people is that they don't have to do anything. If school closes, it's like a snow day, that we don't have to do anything. And so as a district, we're making a concerted effort to say we're transitioning to remote learning. That's kind of the term that we're using. So transitioning to remote learning. So when you're talking to parents, either in written form or in vocal form, use that terminology. I think that will really help, keep people engaged more going into if and when we do pivot to remote learning. So in this newsletter that associated with this video, there's a few things that I put in there. We have a learning hub. It's on our webpage right now. I designed it and created it. It was my, just like you, I'm learning technology tools, and so I learned how to do Google Sites, creating web pages. And so it was my first stab at it, and so I hope it looks good. Take a look at it. There's a link in this newsletter where you can click on it and go to your grade level section of the page. Your Google Classrooms, they look pretty good to me. A couple things that I think we need to shore up though, and this week is making sure that your Zoom or Google Meet link is very noticeable on the first part of your Google Classroom page. So it's just easy for parents and students to find. I think that will really help things. In this newsletter that's out, I did Rhonda Smart has hers set kind of like how I thought it was best, and so I took a snippet of her page and showed you kind of what it could look like, and it's just real simple. So take a look at that. Another thing that I talked with Nicole Parada this week is something that I think a lot of um, virtual teachers have realized with Google Classroom, that it's always best to put classwork in the classwork tab and not in your stream. It does show up in the stream, but if you are only putting it in the stream, the organization of it gets a little difficult to use. So if you put it in the classroom tab, I think it's easier to organize, and it's easier for you to organize it, and it's easier for kids and parents to find it. And so when you assign classwork, make sure it goes under that classwork tab. There's three tabs along the top. One's stream, one's classwork, and one I don't remember what it is right now. But use those things. And then just as we transition, or the possibility of us transitioning face-to-face teachers, we all just need to take a step back for a minute and just say, this is not easy work. You didn't sign up for this. This is not part of your training. But we just need to do the best we can for our kids. And that, we just need to keep learning going forward. It won't be at the same pace, probably, that you've been able to do in face-to-face. And even our virtual teachers would admit at the beginning of the year it was difficult, and it was difficult on them, and it was difficult on the kids, but they've gotten into it. It took a few weeks to really get rolling with it, and so it's going to be the same with all of you. So we just have to breathe, take a step back. We're not going to be experts at it day one, but we just need to do the best we can and keep our kids going forward, type of thing, and progressing. So as we go down that road, and we know that we're all going to support each other. You as a team are fantastic with that. You really help each other out, and just our current virtual teachers, Sherry and Angela and Nicole, thank you very much for your expertise in helping staff out. I plan to do this Wednesday a similar type thing where teachers that want some extra help with virtual instruction, there's just time for us to just be together and support each other. So I'll probably facilitate that this time, and just it's not required to be there, but if you'd like to be there, we certainly want to make it available for people. And also included in this, I've been curious, just like probably most of you, maybe not curious, maybe you know better than me, of where your kids are this year compared to maybe where your class was last year. And so I did an NWA. I pulled some data from last year and this year for the fall NWA, and I've created a spreadsheet. And there's a link in this newsletter just for you to look at that by grade level, not by your class, but by grade level itself. And it's pretty telling, is that the kids this year are in many cases significantly more behind than last year. And so we predicted that, but I just wanted to confirm it with what the data is saying, and then that's what it is saying. So and then lastly, holiday project. We're moving forward with that because the need is great. Those notes went home Friday with parents. I don't know if we'll get to have the breakfast, but the main thing to me is the donations. And so I'm hoping that those donations come in starting as early as tomorrow and then are in by Thanksgiving. That's what I put in the note. So we can get those over to Deb Look, and so she can coordinate. She's coordinating with all the buildings on mainly cash donations this year, and getting that to families in the form of meals and also gifts. So thank you for your efforts in that. Send the RSVPs for the breakfast and any donations down to the office on a daily basis. Don't send them, but bring them down when you get a chance to come down to the office. Well, have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.